Welcome to World of Marketing Podcast, a Foster Web Marketing production. Here's your host, Tom Foster.
Hey everybody, it's Tom Foster on the World of Marketing. And here I am today back in the home office coronavirus pandemic music studio with my good buddy, Mark Blane. Mark Blane, how are you, my friend?
Doing well. How are you doing, Tom?
I'm good. Out in San Diego. That's right. That's where you are, right? San Diego proper?
Yes, sir. Balmy 73 degrees right now.
Well, it is a humid, I don't even know what outside here in Virginia, and we're close to the epicenter, of course, of DC,
Oh, yeah.
where all the action happens. And you're out there in sunny Southern California.
California.
And you, personal injury lawyer, right?
Yes, sir.
And quite successful.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you did it.
It's all a choice, right?
Now, are you you got a couple? Are you on your own, or do you have a couple lawyers working for you, or are you just like do it yourself?
So really by myself. I got a team of paralegals, two solid paralegals that really are the backbone to what I can do, and then I have an of counsel attorney member, and I partner up with cases too, depending on liability and other factors. So it's almost like a team approach in that regard. So yeah, just a one-man solo practitioner doing my best.
A one-man band. You've always been a one-man band.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. And I kind of enjoy that. I don't want to get too big because then then you got other political things that happen within the office and whatnot. It just keeps it simple.
Because lawyers are fun to work with.
Well, I get what you're saying on that, and there's good and bad with that. But yeah, I get it.
So how long have you been practicing law?
Yeah, so I got admitted to the California bar in 1999 out here in San Diego. And so I've been practicing since I grew up in Louisiana, and I got out to law school in San Diego, and that's what brought me out here. And then I told people that I got trapped out here and just kind of started my practice right out of law school. Now, I knew I didn't want to work for anyone. I just wanted to do it on my own and do what I can do. And then just kind of blossom from there.
That's pretty amazing that right out of law school, you went on your own?
That's right. Well, what
That's
I did,
ballsy, man.
I went up to a law firm. I said, look, and they were doing personal injury in different areas. I said, you don't have to pay me anything. I'll work in one of those backroom offices if you have one. I'll work on files that you don't want to work on, but let me build my own practice. And they said, you know what, that sounds like a pretty good idea. And so for the first two or 3 years, it was really hills and valleys. It wasn't all success, but eventually I started getting into that momentum, and then I got too busy. And then what I noticed is my resources at that firm were being drained because now the paralegal is working with other attorneys, of course, but I've got a practice building. So I had to go on my own and just manage it. So that's kind of how it blossomed from there.
How old were you?
Right. How old am I?
No, how old were you then?
27.
Wow.
Yeah.
So obviously you've got an entrepreneurial spirit, but what made you what was your drive then? I mean, like, that's so unusual to have such confidence in yourself at such a young age to go out and do that on your own.
Yeah. Maybe it's just part of my thinking just growing up. I had read some really great books when I was in college. And then my mom, she was a paralegal with a personal injury lawyer in Louisiana. And I thought that was the coolest job in the world because I enjoyed both medical science, anatomy, and then the law. So I could combine both passions. And I said, man, if I can make that work and do a good job, then great. And that's kind of how it molded itself to where it is today. And
great job, man. You're an inspiration to other lawyers everywhere. And that's the whole point of the World of Marketing here, everybody.
That's right.
You too can be a Mark Blane.
Well, I'm just so happy I found you because I was going through the doldrums of marketing. I was just putting around from internet marketing company. I think I went through 2 or 3 internet marketing companies before I discovered Tom Foster. And I think I was thinking just before this podcast, how did I meet Tom? I think I saw Ben Glass talking about great legal marketing. I was saying, oh, really? Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this. And he had some really good ideas and just really out of the box thinking, which really resonated with me. And then I said, hey, wait a minute. This website's who's this guy? It's Tom Foster. So that's what brought me to you.
Well, and thank goodness you did come. And that was 10 years ago, folks. 10 years ago, Mark Blane came and has stuck with us. And one of the interesting things, so we have lots of different kinds of clients, but how we got started is we're really a do-it-yourself shop. We'll teach you how to do it in DSS, as you know. And you are one of the very, I remember very first clients that really just went nuts.
Oh yeah. The first year, the first year I was just nonstop content. It was like a daily workout. Okay, I got to do my content today.
Yeah.
Okay, frequently asked question. Okay, a blog article. Okay, got to do this. Oh wait, got to do video now. Okay, got to do video.
So this is what I was telling you earlier. I got a little treat for you. So this is what we have. It's like, see, we know how to do stuff here at FWM.
That's right.
So check this little nugget out. This was your first website with us.
That's right. Look at that.
So this is what it was back in the day.
Man, look at that. Okay.
I'll send you the link. It's funny because I mean, like this was the 3-column.
Yeah.
I mean, this was the.
I guess this is considered. This is version 1 of your.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was the version 1, and this was an interesting time for SEO because this is kind of at the time when Google really started taking off and SEO became really about content.
Mm-hmm.
And this architecture using DSS as the back end was the best way to display the most content in one package, the way that it was with links and everything. It was just because most sites built up until this time were very image heavy and not very content focused. So this was, and that's why you just catapulted.
Yeah.
But like, so then here's what you look like today.
Yeah.
The difference.
And it's a lot cleaner, fresher looking. Definitely like
the difference 10 years makes, but it's, we're not wearing leisure suits anymore or bell bottoms. Yep. Well, although that stuff comes back.
That's right. There's cycles.
Good grief, man. That's a bad ladder.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, that, man.
Good job on that for your client.
Thank you.
Good grief. Well, look at that, folks. Like if you can't read that, that's a $5 million. Was that a settlement or a jury trial?
Settlement, just probably 2 months shy of jury, and glad we got that resolved successfully for that. And we always do a lot of back end work, because this was it was a work comp case, and so just the medical bills on the work comp case was over $1 million. So we have to negotiate that down to help with the net as well. So there's all these things we got to do.
How did you get that case?
Well, it's a Symphony, right? I call it, I think he first found me on Yelp. Then he jumped to my website to check me out on the website. And I try to get as much reconnaissance on every case I get, right? Like, how'd you find me? But, today they're checking multiple platforms, right? 10 years ago, it probably was just the website. Now they're just fact finding and saying, okay, where is he on Avvo? Where is he on Yelp? Where is he on any other reviews, BBB even? So he saw the website, gave me a call, and I wasn't too sold on the case at the beginning because, you know, at the end of the day, when you have a ladder fall case, it's a slip and fall on a ladder. But we had some really good facts as I dug into it and said, wait a minute. So there was notice. Okay. They knew about it. They didn't do anything. And there was other falls on the ladder. So yeah. So I like to call it the Tom Foster Marketing Symphony, right? It's not just one thing. It's like newsletters, that's your violin section, right? And then you got what is it? Blogs, that's your trombones, and then videos, the drum. You know, so
I've never heard of it called a symphony, but I like that. I'm gonna have to steal that.
Yeah, you got to use that, man.
I like symphony.
Yeah, and you're the maestro. We follow.
But it's true because it is and you said, like, I hope everybody's listening to that because it is true. And I love that you say you do the reconnaissance because you got to know where your good leads are coming from.
That's right. And you got to have a strategy.
Right. And you got to know because, you're a busy guy, especially you, if you're doing the law, if you're doing the lawyer work and the marketing work, there's only so many hours in the day. Mm-hmm. You got to pick where you're going to do your marketing. That's
right. That's right. And you just got to get it in, find the time, make the time, make it a priority. This is for your livelihood, but you're also going to be doing a good job for your client. So it's a consolidated effort, and it's empowering because I think having a game plan, especially with what you guys provide, there is strategy involved. I mean, I don't know any other, and you might know it, but I don't know any other company that does monthly webinars to show you how to get better. So it's all in your power. It's all in your control. And it's fun. And make it fun. I don't know. It's fun for me because it's just being taken control in my life is what it
really. Well, it's funny you say fun because the reason why I reached out to you, and you and I talk, I mean, you're just kind of like one of those guys that just goes and runs and does it. And we talk every couple of years and catch up and stuff like that.
Right.
But I think it was Gretchen that sent me an email and she was like, by the way, Mark is like, his email newsletter is really good. Yeah, truly, from Gretchen. And she gets it. And by the way, anybody that doesn't know Gretchen Upright, she does a production. She's the one that builds the websites. She's a busy lady too. So she sends this to me and she was like, I got this book. I love his book review. And it's got you in your email newsletter in your car.
Yeah.
Like on your phone. I mean, doing a great book review as you're driving.
Well, I was parked.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
And not drive actively.
Right.
What a great idea. And then intermixed with other articles and success stories. But just, and that's what a great way to reach out to your list, to your existing clients, to your past clients, to your friends and family, everybody that knows you. You get it. And see, this is the thing that we are and this is what I want you to tell everybody, Mark, is that it's not about, it's a little bit about ranking, for keywords. We know that. Mm-hmm. And you've got that covered, but it's beyond that. Mm-hmm. Most importantly, though, it is your brand, the name of Mark Blane, the fact that you've been practicing law since 1999 and you've had how many thousands of clients that you, because of the kind of law that you do. And by the way, I'm not a lawyer, but the lawyers that I have worked with, you build a personal relationship with a lawyer. Mm-hmm. For a lawyer, it's a little bit more of a business relationship, but for us regular old people, it's a personal relationship like we have with our doctors. We don't want to go out and find another lawyer, man. Yeah. We want to work with the one that we want to work with.
Yeah, that's a good way. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, and we also want to brag about our great lawyers. So it's really important to stay in contact with them. So I think that you've just done a fantastic job. And that goes back to what you just said about, the symphony.
Yes.
And so, this guy that you got that $6 million verdict for, settlement for, Do you know that, did he come in on a keyword search originally? Do you know?
I don't.
Were you ever able to track him down?
I don't know to that degree. It was the platform Yelp that jumped him over to my website.
Yeah, he probably did some. So if it was Yelp, he was probably, here's how Yelp comes into the picture. He was probably, I can tell you that. He was probably on his mobile phone, iPhone, using Safari, because on a Safari mobile search, Yelp is what comes up in local.
Ah, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And so then that he probably did a search for like probably some basic search at that point. Was it a workers' comp? Is that what you said? Or
I think he was,
or slip and fall, you said.
Yeah, he could have been doing a mixture of the work comp with injury on a ladder, and then somehow he's on.
Probably saw you multiple times with those different. Saw your face, and then he's like, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah.
Because so I'm just kind of backing this up for everybody to see the Symphony, because you have the content. You said it. You got the horn section, you got the string section, and content is all of that. So he's doing all of these searches, and he's seeing you come up for them because you got San Diego covered. And it's really making sure that you're answering all the questions that your perfect clients are asking through content.
That's right.
It's okay. He's here on YouTube and video. He's here over here. And then he's like, well, this guy seems to know what he's doing in terms of answering the question. I wonder if he's any good.
Right.
That's when he checks the reviews. So then he goes to Mark Blane. And that's why they don't remember how it got started.
Right.
And what most lawyers do is or law firms, they say, hey, how did you hear about us? How did you hear about us? And people say, the web.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Right. So when they do that, I always say, well, what was the web page that just made you get the motivation to call me?
Right.
Was there a certain web page that made you call me? And then they'll start thinking, because now they're thinking, well, he really wants to know. So then sometimes you'll get a whole list of history. Sometimes you'll get little short ones, like you said, like, I don't remember, but it's always good to ask.
So a great question to ask. I'll add do this. Who may I thank for this referral?
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's more likely that it was a referral, because as most of them are referrals. Mark Blane, great guy. They're like on the golf course. They're like, my thing is hurting, or this happened to my cousin. Well, you should use Mark. He's great. And they just got your newsletter. I just read this book you recommended. It was great. He's a great guy. Got me $6 million. And then they say that. And then what do people do? He's on the golf course waiting to tee up. He's on his cell phone right there. They don't wait to go home. They're going to type you in right there.
Right there. Yep.
And that's another thing, is like mobile search is up like 80%. It's nuts.
Yeah. Oh my Lord.
So you want to make sure that your mobile website looks good, all that stuff.
Did that change a little bit, Tom, with the COVID? Did people start using more desktop, or was it always up with the mobile during this?
It's up. It didn't really change. I don't know 100% the answer to that question. That's actually a good question.
I was just curious. Yeah.
I think that the guys my team hasn't said, oh my God, mobile's,
yeah.
I mean, mobile has just consistently gone up. What's been interesting about COVID? Well, let me ask you, have you had a decline during COVID?
Well, it depends on what, like April and March and April, I was up like, oh my God, probably the little dip, probably from last month to right now is what I'm kind of.
Do you usually have that in the summer months?
Typically no, but I did notice something, but nothing I'm concerned about, but just, I have noticed something, but it might correct in another month. Who knows? So.
Okay. So I've got all over the map.
Yeah.
And it depends upon the practice area. So a lot of personal injury lawyers, car accident lawyers like yourself that rely on that, they had a hard time. And especially those that's all they do. So I had some firms that actually just kind of shut down.
Okay. So they noticed a decline in the car collision cases because there's less on the freeway.
Yeah. And because there's nobody having accidents. And especially now, but these are bigger firms that require volume.
Right.
You're like picky and choosy, if you get a big case, you're like good for months and months. These people need, they're more settle, whatever, they're more that kind of,
being smaller, you're more nimble. You can pivot better.
But, they've started back up again and, they're fine now, but the estate planners, they've just taken off.
Yeah.
Everybody's like worried about that, their wills and estates and all that kind of stuff. DUI, not much going on there. But what's interesting about that is that not a whole lot of new, but a lot of let's finish this up stuff. In other words, like stuff that was out there, let's get it done. The court's kind of like running through it. Not as much push off, I guess.
Yeah.
But we haven't really, and I mean, people are like just sitting on their couch with their phone doing searches these days, just like they're on desktop. So it's critical. And, you don't need to worry about this, obviously, because you're on our platform, but the big change coming with Google is, and they've even warned us, which is unusual. So the user experience, specifically with mobile, will impact your ranking. That's going to be a big part of the algorithm, how fast your site loads. So, because you're in DSS, you're on our system, it's tight, it's lean, the code is lean. If you're a WordPress system, that's every man. That's the Chevy code, Chevrolet code. That's for everybody, like how can you go fast if it's built for everybody? It looks nice. It's cheap. Sure. But pick cheap. You got to pick one, fast or cheap.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's something that is coming down the pike and especially hitting mobile. And that's like, if you got big images, that'll slow you down. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off on a lecture.
No, that's insightful.
But back to the whole Symphony piece too, is like, there's other things involved. Like you got those books on your website.
Yeah.
Have those been helpful over the years in terms of getting clients?
Absolutely. 100%. I have memories, and even currently people telling me, hey, I read your 10 Secrets book before I called you. It was so helpful. Thank you. And it's just another piece for them to raise their hand and not make a full commitment and not feel like they're going to get barraged with phone calls. And I always follow up. They download. I say, hey, did you get the ebook downloaded correctly? If not, let me know, because I want to make sure they get the information.
Right.
Information-based marketing is critical. And if you have a piece like that on your website, in fact, it's so important. I mean, I've got several books, but I'm coming out with a new one. It's being published with your guy, Tom at
Tom Costello.
Yeah, Tom Costello. It's on motorcycle collisions. And that's a big deal here in California because we have crazy laws out here with motorcycles. And I mean, we can lane split. You can lane split on a freeway between cars. And it's
I've seen that crazy stuff happening, man.
Did you see any of that when you were out here?
I see it everywhere. They have it out here. People do it out here. I don't know if it's legal or not, but I'm like driving out. I'm like, what is that guy doing?
It's legal in California. It's the only state that it's legal to do it.
Well, I guess they're doing it illegally here, but it's just nuts.
Right.
But yeah, those guys, well, yeah. But good for you. I mean, like, you're right. I mean, the books it's just another thing. And you're right. It's for those, they're not ready to talk to a lawyer yet.
They're not ready. And like on the motorcycle book, the defense likes to flip it. The main theme is to show that you're not a safe motorcyclist. And they'll try to pigeonhole every case as though you're an unsafe lane splitter. And so this is important stuff, because you can be proactive now and be a safer motorcyclist just through this book and some of the techniques I talk about, and get a safety record, for your riding. Not that you get in a collision, but if you ever do, you can show, look, I've been trying my best to be safe myself, and here's what I've done.
Oh,
and
that's
I got
pretty
that
cool.
idea. Yeah, I had a case with a Navy guy who got plowed down on his motorcycle, and they tried to pin him down as like unsafely lane splitting, but I had a witness saying no, he wasn't. Turned out he was head of safety on the Navy base, teaching motorcycle. If you're on the base to ride the motorcycle, he's in charge of safety. So I use that in the case. Say, look, he's a safe motorcyclist. He's not one of these crotch rocket guys that just go down, booming down, even though he was on a crotch, one of those sport bikes. So it's really powerful information. And
so it's proactive.
It's proactive. Exactly. It's taking responsibility for your activity. Not that you're going to get an injury or whatnot, but it's going to make you a safer motorcyclist taking extra courses. But if you're ever in a collision, you have that as evidence.
That's fantastic. So that's a great marketing campaign to your list to say, hey, I've got this great new book to God forbid, if you're ever in an accident, if you do these things, it's proof to them, to the defense. And believe me, I've been through all these cases. Wow, that's a great idea, man.
We've got 1 million or just under 1 million registered motorcyclists just counting California. We're the most motorcyclists in the nation. And
everybody knows somebody that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows somebody, and that they're afraid of that rides a motorcycle, and they're like, God, please sell that damn thing.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of safe motorcyclists out there, but we always remember the bad ones. We always remember the safe ones. Oh my, that guy's an idiot. He flew by. So it's powerful.
Yeah.
But if your client is safe and has these extra training, or he doesn't ride at night, it's all powerful information.
I can think of all kinds of cool campaigns for that.
Yeah. Your mind's already going.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great idea. And you just launched that out to your list. But see, this is what we were talking about. You are at the advanced stages of marketing. So everybody that's listening to this, Mark has been doing this for a long time. He's an entrepreneurial spirit. And he got the content game early on. He's one of those that did all around all the different kinds of content. And now we're at this point. We were talking about this before I pressed record, about it's time to launch his own podcast. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see that coming soon, right?
Yes. I'm already, it's turning.
I know.
Yeah.
You've already got the book, my book. What is it? A book of a month thing? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
or is it just...
pretty much, I got that idea from a book called Contagious. It's a marketing book by Jonah Hill, or I don't know, it's Jonah somebody.
Yeah.
And he says that when you recommend something to a family or friend or stranger, it's social currency. And they're going to take that and then recommend it to someone else. And also there's
100%.
confirmation, there's confirmation bias marketing. Oh, someone else is recommending something. I know him in this other relationship. I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to that maybe. So we're exchanging social currencies, and you're doing something that's not really typically in your field, which is being a lawyer. You're reading a book, which is a human thing to do. And so your client base wants to see you as being a human being, right?
100%. God, Mark Blane, I love you for saying that. That is so true. I mean, that's the thing, is that lawyers hide behind this. No, I'm a lawyer. I have to dress, act, and, talk like one. But we want you to be like, we want to play. We want to know you as a person. We want to build a relationship. It is truly a trust relationship. Of course, we want you to know your shit.
Yeah.
But that comes second in many ways.
Right.
So, okay, there's a couple different ways that somebody can find you. One is, if somebody is, the best way is that somebody has worked with you in the past. Mm-hmm. And, they're a friend or a cousin or a family member or a coworker or some relation. And they are, in your case, injured, or something happens. and somebody that you've worked with says, you need to talk to my guy, Mark Blane. He's the guy.
Social currency referral right there.
And this person says, because I have a relationship with you and I think you're awesome, Mark Blane must be awesome too, because you're saying that. You're right, social currency. And then they go, boop, either they say, here's his number, I got his cell, or whatever, here's his website, here's whatever. Or they even introduce by email, which is the best.
Yes.
This is the best, the introduction.
Or text message. Hey, Mark,
right.
Jeff, meet Mark.
Yes, those are the best. That's just direct. Right. Those kinds of clients, those referrals are, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but I will argue that they are the very best because they do not argue about fees. They do not argue with you about anything. They are happy to be one of your clients.
It reminds me of Ben Glass saying in the meeting, it's not, can you take my case? Will you take my case?
Yes.
One of those deals. So
exactly. Yeah. It's different.
It's different.
And so then now stack that against a search for San Diego car accident lawyer from somebody that doesn't know you at all and is basically shopping rates or what can you do for me? That conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Night and day.
Yeah. They're like, what can you do for me? I see that you got $6 million for this ladder guy. I expect the same for my fender bender. Right? Mm-hmm. And then you're like, well, sir, it doesn't really work like that.
Right.
You know, and then they're like, oh, really? Well, I'm going to go give you a shitty review on Google now. That happens.
Oh yeah, no. In fact, you can get. I think I didn't take a case. You can get a bad review for that.
Yes.
I paid the case.
So be careful what you wish for those vanity keywords on page one, because pretty much the not the very best clientele goes shopping there. That's what I got to say. That is hands down across the board. Everybody I talk to. And so those people paying pay-per-click for those keywords, stop doing it.
Yeah. You know, I still see the billboards even out here in San Diego. I mean, personal injury lawyer, call whoever.
Let them do it.
Yeah, let them do it. Right. Because it's shotgun approach. Okay.
And in fact, it's good that they're there. Those people, many of those people do need help. Many of those people are, okay, it's not a $6 million award. All right, let's be real. It's really 50 grand. That's more reasonable. And it is deserved, but you don't need to explain that to them. Mm-hmm. Let the big mill that is trying to get all that stuff and is prepared and ready to settle or whatever and work through that and is perfectly happy and willing to do the 50 grand deal. Do it.
Yep.
That's fine. You're a boutique firm. Mm-hmm. That's what I tell clients all the time. You set your perfect client. Mm-hmm. And the perfect client comes from your list of perfect clients. Mm-hmm. That's why what you've done is so successful. Anyway, looping back to the point I'm trying to get to is the final frontier, which is where you're at, which is probably where a lot of people are at. I just I did a podcast with my new friend Neil Schaefer about doing your own podcast. Then I know he's going to listen to this, so here it is, Mr. Steve Richardson, because I was admonished for not bringing up my buddy Steve Richardson's podcast, which he's been doing for a long time, and he's another guy like you, Mark Blane.
Okay.
Who's I don't know if you've met Steve, but he's up in New Jersey. He does bankruptcy and traffic. And he is another prolific DSS user who gets, good Lord, 20,000 visits to his website. I mean,
yeah, I'll check him out.
Just like you, solo guy. And he does his own podcast. And I was just a guest on another lawyer podcast yesterday, Justin Stivers. And so this is a kind of we call it the final frontier, because you got to have the other stuff. Don't go jumping into a podcast unless you've got everything else rolling. But you're right. You need to do it.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Love to, and I can help you do it. We can help you get it all set up. We know all the where to get it all. It is complicated. It's strangely complicated, but it not the equipment. You can do it just like this. Yeah. This is all I've been doing is Zoom. But it's really like the syndication and the measurement of it and all that stuff. And then you get your good guests. For you, I think you want to interview local doctors and people that you work with. Yeah, that would be great. And then getting into the nitty gritty of ligament injuries and why they're important, why they need to be documented, all that. I'm thinking as you're talking. Yeah, like in your motorcycle book that you're talking about, like you can interview, doctors and, the effects of accidents and, all that stuff, like the horrific motorcycle accident injuries, which are just horrific, as you well know. Yeah. No doubt. Well, what else are you up to, man? What else? Well, since COVID hit, it's kind of changed perspectives on everything. Yeah. I don't know, just try to get outdoors a little bit, do some hiking, and got a lot of hiking trails out here in San Diego. Exercise, that's always important. You gotta, gotta exercise. You gotta exercise. You gotta exercise the mind, you gotta exercise the body. So that's always good. Stay active, do the best you can on that. What else? Nothing new. I think COVID kind of slowed things down in terms of travel, and things like that. For sure. You're in Virginia, right? Yeah. But we got a place up in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, so we go there. Nice. And so I've done it. That's where you see my background, different old dude podcast from there. And I'll go escape there to have a change of scenery and then come back to this wacky town. And you're playing guitar, I see. I think you were in a band, right? I do. Well, still a band with your band exists, although because of COVID, all of our gigs were canceled, obviously. We're the shame of it. Mad Brenda? Mad Brenda. Oh, yeah. Mark Blane. Thank you so much. Hey, man. That's so great. Oh, yeah. I just thought it's great that you're with your daughter, in a band. Yeah, that's awesome. She's in the band. She's the singer, and she had a baby a year ago, so I'm a granddad, and so that kind of took her out for a bit. Sure. Her husband to be, they were supposed to be married last week, but we had to push it out a year. Yeah. So he's your drummer. Cole, he actually works at FWM too. So you might even be talking to Cole sometimes when you call up for help. Okay, yeah. Probably helped you a couple of times. Sure, yeah. And he's the drummer. He beats on those green drums over there. And then we've got Cope, who's our bass player. And then Dave Waiter, who used to work for me. He stupidly left me, as he knows now. But he's still my lead guitarist. Yeah. Good shredder. But are you rhythm guitar? Is that your role in the band? That's what I'm the rhythm guitarist and the manager of the band, which means I'm the yeller of things and I pay for it. Awesome. That means. And I sing background vocals. I sing vocals. They let me sing kind of because they have to. I'm dad of the band and all that. It's fun. You guys do cover. A lot of what we're doing now is what's funny is I'm doing a lot of stuff with my brother, Chad. Oh, so, Chad. Yeah. So look for some stuff here soon. We put some stuff out with that. Chad lives in Florida. Is that right? Yeah. So we just kind of like work on covers and he started playing the ukulele, that's just so Chad. Yeah, no, I think I was reading up on that. The ukulele comes from Portugal. Yeah. And Hawaiians just love the way it was just sounding on the beach. Well, when it's your birthday, expect a little birthday message from him. He will. And
Yeah.
he's getting, but I said, I said, please buy a guitar, please. And so he's been learning that, and he's actually can sing very well. He's got a better voice than I do.
Nice.
And sings really well. So we're working on stuff together.
Awesome.
So let me, in closing, do you have any advice for any like solo practitioner that is, getting started, maybe struggling, that is just kind of like, God, what do I do? What do I do? What's the big thing that I should do first, or something inspirational?
Something inspirational. I'm going to just plug it. Ben Glass. Just follow Ben Glass and replicate what this guy does. Read his
Those
book.
of you that don't see that, he's showing the Renegade Lawyer Marketing book by my buddy Ben Glass. God, that is a great recommendation.
This is his latest book. Got that. You got to have that in your repertoire. And then, before I got into Ben Glass, I had, Ben recommended this one, the E-Myth Attorney. But anyway, beyond the reading, just take action. Everything you guys, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants who have come before me, and I just follow what you guys teach and promote, and take action on that. And that's the simplest thing that anyone can do. It's within their power. It's just a decision.
Yeah.
Do they want to be successful, or do they want to stay in mediocrity? And that's really what it comes down to. And anybody can take action, which is the greatest equalizer.
That is great. It's very simple, but very important advice, just to take action. It's so true. Just take that first step, and just one step at a time. Don't worry about it. Be confident and go.
You'll get momentum when you first hear, oh, I found you on your YouTube. I saw you on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, I read your book. Or, hey, great newsletter. Or, hey, great library article, frequently asked question on my website. You'll start going, wow, this is really, really, this is not all talk. This is stuff that anybody can do that has the wherewithal to want to do it and make it successful.
And your endorsement of Ben is like right on. I mean, like, Ben has helped so many. He's such a sharer, he just shares, and he just loves to help people, other lawyers, and he just sees them flailing about, and especially solo and small firms, just guys just like you.
Exactly. And I came around in this in the right time. It's still the right time, to be a smaller, whether it's 2, 3 attorneys or one, it's just a good time to be in business. It's not like it was in the 80s or 90s if you were a solo practitioner, where you had to do TV ads or yellow pages. We're living in a very unique time that you can leverage social media to be successful, which is great. It's great for everybody. It's
true. The digital media, or digital marketing, has leveled the field for everybody. And actually, it benefits guys like you more, because you're more agile. You can do things faster. And a big firm has to go to committee, and everybody argues, and they can
too many people thinking, too many minds delaying decision to make an action.
That's why we don't work with big firms, because they can't make a damn decision.
Right. Exactly. It's, to me, yeah. So.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much, brother. Mark Blane, always a pleasure to talk to you. And anybody, and I assume that you take referrals for cases in San Diego or in California from other attorneys?
Absolutely. And we pay referral fees per California State Bar rules, and happy to do it.
Yeah. And it's BlaneLaw.com. Mark Blane. Mark Blane at BlaneLaw.com is your email?
Mark, M-A-R-K, at BlaneLaw.com. B as in Bravo, LANELAW.com.
There you go. Or just do a search for Mark Blane. You'll find him right away. It's not hard. And thank you so much for your time and all the kind words, and for being a great client for so long, Mark.
Yeah, looking forward to many years with you, Tom, and thanks for the invite today, and I wish you and your team all the best.
All right, buddy. Thank you. All right, everybody. It's been Tom Foster and Mark Blane, my buddy, on the World of Marketing. You stay safe, and we'll talk soon.